Hello everyone, my name is Nguyen Tông Hong. I come from Vietnam, but I'm doing my PhD degree here in Taiwan. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my research. It's a pity that I can't attend during the holding time for some reason, but I'm really glad to have an opportunity to share my research to everybody today. And my research topic is about Higher Education in Business, a model for international students' choice. And the research background in Taiwan, as we know, the advent of globalization has led most of countries to promote cross-national studies and activities for national development and interest, which has recently catalyzed international educational reform among Asia countries. But recent studies mainly focus on the school selections among international students who from England or the USA or Australia or another Western countries, which are fully illustrating an integral model of the decision-making process and students' choice regarding how all the aspects were interwoven. In the literature review, we have an overview of international students in Taiwan. Uh, the diverse attributes of international students in Taiwan, which comprise foreign and overseas Chinese students here, including students from Hong Kong and Macau in Taiwan, were continuously rising. And for example, 68,000 international students from non-degree programs were in the majority, with 30, 32,000 extending Mandarin learning programs provided by college, while 16,000 consist of research students from mainland China in 2020. In literature review, I continue with analyzes the articles previous about the motivation for studying abroad and students' career planning, and the last part of students' decision-making process. And from the analysis of literature, I propose a model of international student choice in Taiwan with six hypotheses. Mixed method research commonly adopted in social science studies, including this study, qualitative research designed for two purposes. The first one is for investigate the motivation and career planning of international students who study in Taiwan, and the second one is to create a database for designing a survey spotting study tool, and quantitative research design for the questions concerning motivation to study abroad were based on the interview findings, whereas questions concerning career planning were derived from the interview findings and adopted from Adekoya's studies in 2011. Additionally, the questionnaire from Kubler and Chen and Amari was adopted to suit the instrument assessing the decision-making process and student choice. Search results of study 1 show that presented significant findings regarding the motivation to study abroad. The respondents primarily focused on the three following aspects: cultural cultural experience, language studies or language abilities, academic improvement, and professional growth. Additionally, one variable associated with motivation for study in abroad, known as good service quality in healthcare, was found. And in study 2, results about SEM analysis was found. All value of SEM analysis is significant for the Frobo's hypothesis model. As you can see in this study, 5 of 6 hypotheses of the final model resolved by SEM analysis was support, excluding the hypothesis 4. In this case, of the relationship between motivation and score selections. This hypothesis, all of the 6 hypotheses formed by this study and was rejected. Through the results of the studies, we have conclusions that 5 hypotheses formed by this study were accepted, with an exception of the relationship between motivation and students' choice. And this study provides that the motivations for international students to study in Taiwan did not directly influence school selections, and the decision-making process could be viewed as an intervening variable in this study. Although all the parts forecasted the decision to study abroad, future career planning was proven to be the most critical part to this decision, and data gathered through modeling tests indicate that career planning did not only indirectly influence the decision-making process, but it also directly affect the school choice of international students who study abroad in Taiwan.